So this is our tank fill. So a couple things with that, just like with the belt on engine. Kept everything low, kept everything, nobody's got to stand on anything. This is a direct fill, it's called a fireman's friend. It's a check valve. You don't have to reach for any valves or slam valves and possibly cause a water hammer. Just supply this with a 3.5 or 5 inch or whatever. It fills. When the tank is filled, you shut the valve off of the engine or the hydrant or whatever. The check valve closes. It's got a bleeder right here, and you bleed it out, and you take your hose off. You don't have to reach up. A lot of our tankers I've seen, it's up here. So guys are standing on the running boards. Everything's down here. Right. Same thing. Same ergonomics. There's no need. There's nothing on top. We got nothing up there. No hose, no ladders, no suction hoses. Here's where the suction hoses go. We put them in here for a reason. We want everything down low. So these are 13 footers. So because that's as much as we can fit in here, we can fit a 13-foot piece of hose in here. Right. So these are 13 feet long, and it helps us with that front, when we hook up in the front, or we can actually, in most pumpers, if the tanks are in the back, right at the back step of the pumping engine, we can actually run it around and go to the back. We did that at one fire already. Got it. The front was blocked, we put the tanks in back. These are 13 foot long, got 26 feet of hose, and go right into the tank. So same on the other side, so you don't really have to fight with this stuff. I've seen too many times, anytime we had to do this, the guys are climbing up on the top of the engine. We had one situation where they kept the strainer pre-attached. Took a lot of time to get the hose off the top of the engine. We get the hose, the suction hose and the strainer on the ground. Couldn't get the strainer off. Right. It actually, dissimilar metals kind of welded it on there. So that's why we do it this way. The tanker brings its own suction, its own strainer, its own fittings.
It makes sense. I mean, when you start to talk about water supply, and you can have the ability to have apparatus thought out, designed, and built for how you operate, it just makes things so much simpler. And things like drafting, tank fill, rural water supply, where we're shuttling water, it's a massive undertaking, right? Level 2 is 10 tankers, you said, right?
Yeah.
It's and to keep a reliable and free-flowing water supply off of a shuttled water is impressive. It needs to be done, and it needs to be practiced, and you need to have apparatus that can quickly and efficiently do it.
It's a huge management and command job.
For sure.
Anybody would say, I'd rather go take care of the fire. When they get stuck as the water supply officer, oh my God, you are like really need help with that. You got to set up this whole setup. You got to muster in the tankers. You got to make sure they know where they go to fill. Come back to some rural spot in the middle of the winter in a town they never were in before. But it works. Yeah. But it works. So we keep all this stuff as simple as we possibly can. So that's how we fill. So it's only got this one fill. We don't fill through the rig or through the pump. That's all slow. This fills easily at 1,000 gallons a minute. Right. This is how we transfer water between tanks. Now, this is something that I saw. I go, I wonder if it works. I watched it. I got one. It works great. If we want to have 2 or 3 tanks, usually we do 3 tanks, and we want to move water between the 2 or 3 tanks, this is actually like a big siphon. This just hangs on one tank. It shoots the water into the next. It's once again, typical, just like a good engine company. Everything is pre-connected. That's 2-inch hose. Pull it out, hook it to your 2-way gate. Right. And this is how you level off your 2 tanks.
Transfer water between tanks.
Once again, no climbing. Right. This is another Ken Jackie deal. We made up these mounts for us, and it's got 2 little toggles in here, and you take these off, move them around, and this thing comes out of here just like that with these 2 little locks in here. There. And this will come out.
Just lifts right out.
Yep. This will come out. It sits in like a little.
Slide to the right, Chief, then it should come out a little bit.
There you go.
So this comes out, and this will go into the tank this way. This is how it gets fed. This will be standing up on one tank, and it'll push. We've actually clocked this at 1400 GPM.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it'll keep the tanks leveled off real good, real easy.
No,
but this is all stuff that Kenny made for us.
Yeah. Polytech America.
Polytech America. Didn't have to put it up on top of the rig. Didn't have to use up compartment space. We utilize about a 12-inch rear step, which is required. And
Beautiful.
it worked out.
Set up to work.
Set up to work, and there's only one connection to make. This hooks into your two-way gate that's in that first. That's why we have that in that first box.
Right.
So we
Got
supply
it.
that.
Good. Thank you, Chief.